Oh man, more in our sort of mold react, I suppose, for lack of a better term. Being transphobic on the timeline, huh? Asmongold was feeling extra spicy today when talking about the parents of trans children. Every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. Wait, does that mean that you are also a victim of parents with a mental illness? Because you have a mental illness. Is that how this works? Okay. If you have a kid that's like pre-puberty and they're trans, your parents have a mental illness. Let's talk about prepubescent fucking trans people, okay? Generally speaking, are there any form of hormone therapies or any other sort of like HRT, a taking of estradiol, or whatever the equivalent is for like trans men, like breast reduction surgery or what have you. Is that happening to children? No. The only time when children do HRT, broadly speaking, is when, well, very extreme circumstances are happening. And guess what? All these kids go through constant psychological help and constant, well, therapy, constant psychological therapy. They not face, but talk with so many physiognomists. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Psychologists and a lot of other doctors in order to be able to get the prescriptions that they want, in order to become trans, to begin transition, to eventually be able to get the drugs to have their transition. And generally speaking, when do they get those drugs? Like 18. Generally speaking, that's like the broad consensus, I think, is when it is legal for them to get those with those drugs. Again, depending upon the circumstances, whatever can happen. Not to mention the price tag on stuff like this. So generally speaking, when there are trans kids, the only thing that they recommend, a lot of the psychologists and therapists, they say, just go ahead. And once they get like the sort of diagnosis that they're trans or whatever, this is not exactly 100% accurate. I'm not 100% knowledgeable on how it works. When they get the ability, the permission to begin transition, what the doctors suggest is they go through social transition first. So instead of, say, like wearing boys' clothes, they start wearing girls' clothes. And they get like a change of toys, and they get like a change of their name. That's like pretty much the main number one thing. They change their name to whatever their girl name they want or what have you. That's how it works. This is not every case, but it's the vast majority, and the remaining extreme cases are done with careful supervision. He pretends like it's a fucking McDonald's drive-thru for HRT. That is true. It's just that is not the case. That's just simply not happening. Like, we can even like look this up for fuck's sake. How many kids have transitioned in the US? Recognizing the potential for significant harm, with over 300,000 youths between the ages of 13 to 17 in the U.S. Identifying as transgender. Some states are setting policies designed to protect children from the irreversible treatments made at a critical time. Mental and health. So this is the America First Policy Institute. What is this? Well, here's a Reuters article. How many kids? So these are diagnoses of youths with gender dysphoric surge. New diagnoses in the United States of patients ages 6 to 17. And these are the ones with diagnoses. It's 42,000. That's not that many people. That's not that many kids. I've looked at this article before. If we're talking about puberty blockers, so generally speaking, before they go on HRT, a lot of the times they get assigned puberty blockers for a lot of gender dysphoric kids or teens. They get assigned puberty blockers, and like I said, at 18 is when they typically get the ability to do like estradiol. That's like one random example of a girl making drugs. Or I think the other one is spironolactone. Spironolactone and estradiol, I believe, are the two main ones. So they go on puberty blockers first, so they don't, go through with puberty, because if you go through puberty, you can still transition. It just becomes a lot harder, obviously. None of the surgeries are done. Generally speaking, they do that after they get older, but they go through social transition, and they eventually start doing HRT and all that stuff. That's how it works. This is also the trouble with Asmon. He efficiently and quickly spouts bullshit, and when you're the informed guy with the info, they don't want to listen because too long, boring. Well, that is part of the problem with debunking all of Asmongold's bullshit. It's... What's the name of the dude who came up with that fallacy? It's so much easier to spout out so much bullshit because it takes so much time and effort in order to debunk it. So yeah, if we're doing like the whole meme of like the epidemic of children becoming trans, this is just in 2021. Like literally, we all know the Joe Rogan Matt Walsh clip, right? We all know that. Where Matt Walsh alleged that there's millions of kids transitioning. But in reality, Joe Rogan literally looks it up. His like producer Jamie finds it. And it's just like, oh no, it's only like 3,000 or something. It's like, huh. And like Matt Walsh is like sitting there twiddling his fucking thumbs like, fuck. Because he made himself look like a really big fucking idiot. So yeah. Is every trans kid a victim? I don't think so. Because guess what? Here's generally how, from what I understand. Oh, burnt out alien. Welcome back. I guess you're trans. Are you trans? I have no idea. My experience was I had to do bi-monthly meetings with a gender specialist starting at 16 for them to allow me to start T 2 months after my 18th birthday. Well, you just came in with the steel chair. You just made my job way easier. If I had waited to be 18 to see the specialist, I would have had to wait until I was at least 19 to start hormone treatment. They're super careful about that stuff. Yeah, the idea that they're not careful with this shit is fucking delusional. It's just like, you sit there and you're just like, because I've heard the stories. I've talked with enough trans people. There's all these, like, specialists you have to go to. The doctors you have to get, like, medical notes from. The therapists you have to go to sort of, like, talk this out. And, like, fucking dumbasses like this will be like, oh, dude, like, literally all you have to do is walk in your school, get day estradiol shots, or get day T pills, and there you go. You're a trans now. Whoa. It's nonsense. It all comes from like a bunch of just idiotic misinformation and nonsense that have been spouted constantly by all the right wingers. But let's see. Hold on. Like maybe he says something different. I am just operating here. They're doing transgender surgeries on illegal aliens in prisons. So real.
You can be groomed for sure. No, and that's a good point, right? Is that like, that's why I said as an adult, is because like if you're a kid and like you get fed a lot of propaganda and like messaging, like I feel like every trans kid.
So he's going with the sort of, okay, every child gets fed all the big trans propaganda, the big T, big trans is coming to trans your kid, and oh man, because that's totally happening. Whoa, the use of puberty blockers, hormone therapy. Wow, it's barely in the couple of thousands. Yeah, what about conversion therapy, Asmongold? How many kids go through conversion therapy? How many kids go through conversion therapy? Let's see. Do they have the stats on this? I'm curious. I know people who went through Gitmo level torture and conversion therapy. Yep. Good thing we banned that practice in Canada. Good job, Canada. Good shit, Trudeau. How many people? Do we know? We got stats on this? According to a recent report by the Williams Institute at UCLA School of Law, an estimated 20,000 plus LGBTQ plus minors in states without protections will be subjected to conversion therapy by a licensed healthcare professional if state officials fail to act. Oh no, but it's all about the hormone therapy for like all these kids. It's the end of the world, guys. Oh no. It's all because of big trans spreading the trans juice through the microphone, through the screen that's making your kids trans. They got the big trans. Sure, man. Totally.
Is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness.
That is fucking hilarious coming from the guy who suffered from a bunch of mental illnesses because of trauma he faced when he was a fucking child. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what I believe. And so, like, I really, and this, you got a kid that's like 17, right? I mean, it's a little bit more, it's like not really as definitive. But like, if you have a kid that's like pre-puberty.
Oh, really? It's not as definitive. Because we just looked over some of the statistics. Some of the statistics that we do have. Yeah, top surgeries. How many top surgeries? Wow, hardly any. Do we need to, like, look up more fucking goddamn whatever the fuck? How many adults and youth? Youth being defined as 13 to 17. So 1.6 million ages 13 plus identify as transgender. And obviously, like, what exactly do we mean by transgender? Transgender is a pretty broad umbrella, but 300,000 youth identify as transgender. Okay. %, of people who identify as transgender are 13 to 17. 8% of people in the U.S. population are ages 13 to 17. So what, 18% of 8%? I don't even know if these are exactly 100% accurate. Yeah, this is like 1%, right? It'd be about, so 20% of 8% is 1.6%? Be 1.6? So it's about 1% of 1% of people aged 13 to 17 in the population in the U.S. are identifying as transgender. And here's the thing: we don't know if it's like trans or because like here's the thing with the trans umbrella, it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It can be non-binary people. It could be intersex. It could be even like any form of gender nonconformity. Gender fluid people can identify as trans, right? It might not even be the people who go through the whole fucking kibosh, right? 39% are transgender women, 36% are transgender men. 0.9% of adults in North Carolina identify as transgender. 0.2% in Missouri identify as transgender. I can only imagine how rough it is for those people. 3% of youth in New York identify as transgender. 0.6% of youth living in Wyoming identify as transgender. About 78,000 of Asian adults, 11,000 of Asian youth. I'm assuming that's throughout the entirety of the United States. American Indian and Alaskan Native adults identify as transgender, about 14.5 thousand, and 3,000 of American Indian / Alaskan Native identify as transgender. Keep in mind, transgender for all of these different cultures and peoples mean completely different things. Completely different things to different people because they have like particular religious or cultural signifiers that can be broadly understood as trans. Like I said before, being transgender is a very sort of umbrella kind of term. It can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Yeah, two-spirited people. Those guys are transgender. But Asmongold, who is fundamentally uninterested in curious about figuring out what he actually needs to say, or like to actually learn about any of this stuff, because he's an idiot, doesn't understand any of this shit, will just say like, oh yeah, it's because of mental health issues. Get the fuck out of here. You're the byproduct of like mental fucking health issues. Does that mean, I should discriminate against you? You shouldn't get the fucking care that you deserve or whatever? No. Hopefully Asmongold is getting therapy. I have a feeling that he might be. It's just not doing anything. Or it's failing miserably, or he doesn't have a therapist. But, but all those, like, transgender parents for all those trans kids, they're the ones with the actual mental health issues. Sure, man, totally.
Puberty and they're trans, your parents have a mental illness. That's it.
That's really rich coming from you, buddy. The fucking same dude who can't fucking clean up his room, it's been infested with fucking cockroaches and dead fucking rats. Yet the parents who want to do right by their fucking children are the ones with the mental illness. Get your fucking head out of your ass.